When Maya was here on Earth, she taught me so much. And for my 50th birthday, she wrote a poem called Continue.
Oprah Winfrey has been looking up to Maya Angelou for the longest time. In fact, in April last year, the media mogul penned a tender tribute to the late memoirist and poet, with a post on Instagram describing their decades-long friendship and the life lessons Angelou has taught her in her post, which featured a warm image of the two female pioneers smiling alongside each other. Winfrey described what it was like to grow up memorizing Angelou's poems before later hearing essential knowledge straight from. On the source herself, Maya would have been 95 today, and I would be throwing her a big party as I did every fifth year since she turned 60. Winfrey's caption began, I grew up reading her insightful books and memorizing her poems when I finally got to meet her in my late 20s. She made me a meal and read me Paul Laurence Dunbar's poetry. From that point on, I sat at her table and listened to her words of wisdom for years. Winfrey continued. Winfrey then went on to share the pearls of wisdom that left a lasting impression on her, including quotes such as, when people tell you who they are, believe them the first time. When you know better, you do better. When you learn, teach. When you get, give. Winfrey also reflected on how Angelou's counsel has remained a beacon of light even in the years since her death. In 2014, I value those gifts to me even more now that she's gone, Winfrey wrote towards the end of her post. But more importantly, I still feel her everywhere, in the stillness, in conversations, in sunrises, and sunsets. Her spirit abides with me, greeting me, as she always did. Hello, you darling girl. Angelou, who died at the age of 86, became world-renowned for her poetry and books, many of which addressed racism, Black culture, travel, and identity, including her autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. In 2014, soon after Angelou's death, Winfrey wrote an essay about their relationship and described the author as the person she learned more from than anyone else. Her greatest lesson, besides her gem of insight and inspiration, is the way she has approached aging with such acceptance and assurance. Winfrey wrote at the time, several years ago, when I asked her what it was like to turn 80, she said, baby, the 80s are hot. You want to try and make it there if you can. Throughout their friendship that spanned almost 4 decades, the media mogul looked up to Angelou first as a writer and then as a friend and mentor. In 2018, Oprah recalled how reading Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings taught her to value her own experience as an African-American woman. My heroes and heroines were in books Maya Angelou and Alice Walker, and people who I never imagined that I would grow up and actually come to know. My heroes were in the strength of women whose lives I related to. I remember the very first time I read Maya Angelou's I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. I was in high school, and on the first page is an Easter piece. It begins, what you looking at me for? Didn't come to stay, only came to say Happy Easter Day. No. I grew up with a church and doing Easter pieces where there wasn't even a full book, but they just tear out little pieces and give to you to memorize. And that became my staple for developing self-esteem, standing up, orating in front of people. When I read that book by Maya Angelou for the first time, I couldn't imagine that the world valued a Black woman's story enough that it could actually be out in black and white in print on pages and called a book. Because I'd never read about anybody that was like me. So the real feminism for me was about strength of character, believing that you were worthy, that I was worthy, and deserved what everyone else deserved because I was female and Black, that I had a right to. That I think prior to reading Maya Angelou's Caged Bird Sings, I always thought there was a hierarchy, and that the hierarchy started with white men and then white women, and then I would fall somewhere in there. However, there are now claims that despite being mentored by her, Oprah never actually learned anything from Maya. For starters, Maya Angelou once said that it requires courage to remain consistent in one's virtues.
Courage is the most important of all the virtues, because without courage, you can't practice any other virtue consistently. Can't be consistently fair, or kind, or true, or honest, or generous. None of those.
Well, Oprah might have missed this lesson because she is nothing if not inconsistent with her self-portrayal of a philanthropist. Oprah has been a vocal advocate for women's rights and has used her platform to speak up on issues that affect women. She has been an outspoken critic of SL harassment and has supported the Me Too movement, which has given women a platform to share their stories and seek justice. Her advocacy has encouraged women to speak up and demand their rights, even in the face of adversity. Additionally, Oprah has always been a champion of women, and she has used her wealth and influence to empower others. She has donated millions of dollars to various causes, including education, healthcare, and women's rights. She has also launched several initiatives to empower women, including the Oprah Winfrey Leadership Academy for Girls in South Africa, which provides education and leadership training to underprivileged girls. However, when it comes to supporting Black female actors, that's where Oprah draws the line. You see, Taraji P. Henson recently revealed that she almost walked out of Oprah-produced film The Color Purple for being underpaid. The drama unfolded during a press tour where Henson, embodying the character of Shug Avery in the much-anticipated film, laid bare the harsh truths of her Hollywood journey. The revelation that sent shockwaves through Tinseltown came when she made a teary-eyed appearance on Gayle King's Sirius XM show. It seems every time I do something and I break another glass ceiling when it comes time to renegotiate, I'm at the bottom again. I'm tired, she said through tears, adding that to add insult to injury, 50% of her salary goes to taxes and 30% goes to her team. In a candid moment, Henson bared her frustrations, challenging the industry's complacency. I've been getting paid and I've been fighting tooth and nail every project to get that same freaking quote. And it's a slap in the face when people go, "Oh girl, you work all the time, you always working well." God damn it, I have to. It's not because I wish I could do 2 movies a year, and that's that I have to work because the math ain't mathing. And I have bills. She vents with some tears. Listen, I've been doing this for 2 decades, and sometimes I get tired of fighting because I know what I do is bigger than me. I know that the legacy I leave will affect somebody coming up behind me. My prayer is that I don't want these Black girls to have the same fights that me and Viola Davis, Octavia Spencer, we out here. Thugging it out, Henson said from Color Purple. Yes, Mom. Who said what? Yes, Mom. Color Purple director Blitz Baza Wool added fuel to the fire by supporting Henson's claims of injustice. According to Baza Wooley, the casting process for the film, despite featuring award-winning actors and Broadway veterans, demanded auditions, knowing how hard they fought to not have you all here, and knowing how hard we had to fight to ensure that. He said, looking at Henson and Color Purple actor Daniel A. Brooks, the face that each one of you, every single one of you, had to audition for this role, roles that were second nature for you, roles that no one should even question. At a recent career retrospective hosted by the SAG After Foundation, Henson expanded her thoughts and revealed that the pay issue nearly led to her not starring in The Color Purple. I'm really tired of Black women having the same story, she said.
Every time you achieve something really incredible, it's almost like the industry looks at it as a fluke. Like, oh, that was like some one-time thing. And you gotta negotiate and fight tooth and nail to get what you made the last time. Where's my raise? I haven't seen a raise in my income since Proud Mary.
The controversy went further when TikTok users began nitpicking 2 videos from a press event to promote The Color Purple. While analyzing the 2 women's body language, TikTokers became convinced Henson and Winfrey did not get along, and that the Shug Avery actress looked gloomy and uncomfortable around her producer. You see how she looked at Taji and quickly looks away. And now at Taraji, look at her legs. She locks it away from Oprah, looking up, fluttering her eyes, trying to hold back tears this time. Kate Tucker also questioned why Henson was the only actress Winfrey didn't touch.